News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Republicans choose their representatives to go to the National Convention. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Monday, May 16th, 2016. Overcast sky, 46 degrees in Missoula right now. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by Western Montana New Holland, south of the Y, on Highway 10 across from the Axemen. Several hundred Republicans in Billings have chosen delegates to represent Montana at the party's National Convention. The Montana Republican Party said it will send 27 people to the National Convention in July, the majority of which were chosen Saturday. The party will now select alternate delegates. The Billings Gazette reported that members presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump's campaign were recently in Billings to ensure Trump's supporters applied for delegate consideration. Will Deshaw, state campaign director for Ted Cruz, says he told Cruz supporters to stay involved and choose Trump instead since Cruz suspended his campaign. The winner of Montana's Republican primary gets all 27 delegates. Through the first vote of the National Convention, then the delegates can vote for anyone if more than one vote is needed to select a candidate. Staying with politics, Secretary of State Linda McCullough says counties put more than 230,000 absentee ballots for the June primary into the mail Friday. McCullough reminds absentee voters they'll receive ballots from both parties. They can only vote one party's ballot, though, for the primary. Voters are also required to sign the return envelope. McCullough also notes that presidential candidates who have suspended their campaigns but have not withdrawn from Montana's ballot will remain on the ballot. Votes cast for those candidates will be counted. The 232,731 absentee ballots being mailed will reach just over a third of the state's 645,000 registered voters. Michael Burks says he is, quote, heartbroken, end quote, over the way the Missoula Maulers ended their relationship with the Glacier ice rink last week. But he wanted to tell the story what really happened in his own words. Burks said when the relationship began, the facility was just ice over dirt.
I personally put in over $500,000 into the rink as it wasn't suitable to host a junior team. So what I did is put in the bleachers, the concrete, concessions, locker rooms, sound lights, basically everything other than the dirt and rink.
Burke said he was shocked to see the new lease proposal recently presented to the Maulers by the Glacier Ice Rink.
What I asked the rink is after losing $133,000 last year, I simply asked the rink if we could leave things the way they were the last 9 years, and their response was simply, this is the way it's going to be. If you don't like it, we're at an impasse.
Burks explained the press release distributed by his attorneys from Helena at Luxon and Murfitt.
The press release from my attorney didn't name names, didn't list any reasons. It was just simply we agreed to disagree and called it quits. And unfortunately, the Glacier Ice Rink lied, pointing his fingers towards me, telling everybody they were shocked that I would not negotiate. They had no idea this was coming when, in fact, their own attorney told me that it was their way or the highway.
Burks said he still wants to see a junior hockey league team in Missoula and will do whatever he can for anyone who wants to assume ownership of the team. Hear the full interview with Burks, complete and unedited, on our website at newstalkkgvo.com. KGVO News will be reaching out to the Glacier Ice Rink to hear their story today. An unidentified woman received non-life-threatening injuries as she was walking on the sidewalk at about 11 o'clock Sunday morning on the 3000 block of South Russell. Missoula Police Sergeant James Caton has details.
There was a vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed heading southbound on Russell Street. Collided into a vehicle heading northbound on Russell. The vehicle that was traveling southbound continued on and collided with a female pedestrian who was on the sidewalk of Russell Street, and which caused the vehicle to have her trapped underneath his vehicle.
Caton said the woman required hospitalization after the incident.
She was transported to St. Patrick Hospital where she received treatment but for non-life-threatening injuries. Witnesses were estimating the speed around 40 to 50 miles an hour. Alcohol and or drugs may have been a factor, but the investigation is still ongoing.
Caton said it's possible either alcohol or drugs may have been involved in the accident, and the charges may be filed against the driver once the investigation is complete. The Montana Department of Revenue is defending its exclusion of religious schools from the state's school choice program. Last month, the Flathead County District Court judge issued a temporary injunction against the state and suggested the Revenue Department likely overstepped its authority in excluding religious schools as, quote, a qualified education provider, end quote, under Montana's school choice program. The state filed its response last week. Meanwhile, an attorney for 3 Montana mothers who sued the state last year was preparing to file a motion asking the judge to immediately rule in their favor. The parents want the court to invalidate a state rule that denies tax credits for donations to private scholarship funds that are used at faith-based schools. The school choice program offers tax credits up to $150. Missoula County Attorney's Office was busy juggling 12 felonies this past week. According to County Attorney Kirsten Pabst, some of the types of crime seem to appear in court every week.
We've seen some of the common themes. There's been 3 felony meth cases. One was possession with intent to distribute. 2 pretty serious partner assault cases involving violence. One involved child criminal endangerment where the suspect then allegedly fled while he was intoxicated in a vehicle with an infant in his arms.
There were also some unexpected cases.
We had a couple felony DUIs as well, which is pretty concerning when you think that it's not a felony until it's a 4th or subsequent offense. That burglary involving the young man at the Winds of Change, a pretty significant embezzlement. We're working on a governor's warrant. It involves a stalking type case, several violations of privacy and communication. I think we're looking at 9 counts.
Pabst went on to say meth use has grown exponentially in Missoula County, was a contributing element to a host of other types of violent crime. Gallatin County authorities have charged 2 men with criminal distribution of dangerous drugs after a Montana State University student died of an overdose earlier this year. The Bozeman Daily Chronicle reports Jeffrey Qualls and Daniel McGrail are accused of giving the synthetic drug U47700 to 20-year-old Natalie Dietrich, who overdosed on the drug in January at a concert hall. On a windswept Saturday morning inside Washington Grizzlies Stadium, over 3,000 soon-to-be graduates and guests at the University of Montana were treated to an address by a man who is not only an Academy Award-winning actor, but also the voice of the Yellow M&M. Yes, UM grad J.K. Simmons, he looked back on his now iconic speech when he accepted his Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role in Whiplash, when he encouraged everyone in the audience to call your mom.
The call your mom, call your dad thing became an immediate internet sensation, a meme, and more importantly, it had a real effect. It actually brought estranged families together. Adult children reached out to their parents and reconnected, sometimes in dramatic ways. In at least one instance, I know that a reconnection was established hours before the mother died.
And yet Simmons said there was another memory from that speech.
She called to thank me because the next commercial break after I made that speech, her phone rang and she looked down and her son was calling her. And the thing that made her story unique was that her son was sitting right next to her on the couch. Just being a smartass.
Simmons is a 1978 graduate of the University of Montana, was awarded an honorary doctorate at Saturday's commencement ceremony. News Talk Time, 6:13.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy skies today with a slight chance of a shower. High temperatures will top out in the mid-60s. We'll see our highs warming into the 70s Tuesday and Wednesday, with showers and 60-degree temperatures Thursday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster, KECI 13.